What's the word, everybody, man? I got about 40 good minutes to build, so I'm gonna give everybody a little minute to go ahead and populate the chat before I start venting on the subject matter for the day. Y'all already know this one of those topics where I got to go in. Just peace, what's happening? It's one of those topics that's near and dear to the heart for me. So one of those things that I'm passionate about, man. So I just want to vent for about a good 40-45 minutes. That's all I got today. Been ripping and running, man, but y'all know how it is. I'm always make time to build and get some things off my chest, man. But how everybody feeling? How y'all holding up on this wonderful Thursday? It's a little rainy on my end, but it's all good, man. We good. We good. We maintaining. We always focus on elevation and all that good stuff, man. So how y'all living? How y'all feeling? What's the word? Talk to me before I start venting to y'all, because I'm probably gonna end up going off on this particular subject matter, because I am not a fan of the educational system, and y'all know that. But I gotta touch on some things, get them off my chest, because that's what I've been kind of thinking about here lately, you know. And I've been seeing some discussions revolving around education and black children and things of that nature. And I feel like that's one of the main things that we really need to be focused on improving in regards to elevating our condition. Like, we really need to do something about our educational condition. I feel like if we continue to enroll our children in these schools headed by our oppressor and our enemy, then we will continue to lose. No matter how much marching and protesting and boycotting we do, if we continue to enroll our children in these schools that are headed by the oppressor, we are losing, because we are continuing to let them indoctrinate our children. How can we come out on top when we are being indoctrinated by the very enemy that we fighting against, that we marching and protesting against, and all that? We are allowing them to indoctrinate our children. That doesn't make any type of sense. So we got to start making up our mind as black people. And it's really starting to, like I said in a previous stream, it's starting to really kind of grind my gears. What do we want to do? What do we want? One moment we protesting against the system, and the next minute we trusting it. What are we after here? What do we want? Like, collectively, what do we as black people want? I don't feel like we actually have an answer. Like, I don't feel like collectively us as black people know what we want. We can't even agree with what we want. So when we protesting against the system, and when we boycott, what are we actually asking for? What are we actually asking for? What do we actually want from this system? What do we want? What do we want collectively? I don't feel like I've ever seen someone answer that particular question. What are we asking for? Like, what are we asking for? The Black Sheep, peace, Zeke, peace, what's happening? Patrick, peace, what's the word? Just, there we go, maintain it. We always strive to maintain, strive for that elevation. Patrick, for sure, I was just studying that. Being an initiate, how to become an initiate and things of that nature. I was literally just studying that, and how some of those great white minds or those great Greek minds that they tell us about came out of that ancient Egyptian mystery school system. And they had to learn from the black man, and then they took it and they taught their people, and then the books put their faces on all these theories and all that type of stuff, man. And they got it from us. But see, we remain in the dark. They don't let you know where they truly got it from, you know? So that type of stuff, man. And I feel like we do need to take it back to that type of system of learning. Introverted, peace, what's happening? Just, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And we are reactionary people. We're not really proactive. See, the only time we start coming together a little bit is when things happen to us. Like I said, it's almost like taking your health seriously. Most of the time, the only time a black person gonna take their health seriously is when they almost die of a disease or an ailment. The only time we come together, funerals and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So it takes for something to happen for us to like respond and react. We're not really proactive. We don't come together until something actually happens. We don't come together beforehand though. We don't come together beforehand. We wait until something happens, and then we want to try to come together, and then we wonder why it's all dysfunctional and it's all chaotic. Because we ain't come together until something happened, something popped off. We got to stop doing that. Chuck, peace, what's happening? Zeke, you say Texas not teaching slavery anymore. But see, and that's the thing. So Okay, boom, don't teach slavery, but then what we gonna teach though? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool and whatnot, but then what we gonna teach? What we gonna teach them black kids? So we can remove slavery, but what we really gonna teach? I bet you the information that they will teach will still result in the enslavement of the black mind. But that's great that they not teaching that, because a lot of times a black child thinks his or her history starts at slavery, and that's been killing us for the longest, thinking that our story started at slavery, because they don't want to teach you anything that happened pre-slavery and how great our people were. So that's a good start, because a lot of people, my generation and the generations prior, have been destroyed because that's where we think our history started, or our story started, with slavery. We thought all we amounted to was slaves. That's it. That's what they wanted us to believe, and that's what they got us to believe for the longest. Miss Donnie, peace. What's happening? Oh, Patrick. Hey, Dr. Ashby is my mans. Dr. Ashby, Dr. Sebi, those are my peoples. Bavarian, yeah, and that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about, the crate challenge, like I said. I brought that up, and I was talking about that, and then when I talked about it, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I may take things too seriously, you need to let people have fun. I know y'all have seen the articles about people getting shot and killed while doing this crate challenge. I know y'all have seen all the type of people that can hurt themselves doing the crate challenge. It's like, come on now. We like I said, I made a status on Facebook about that type of stuff. I said, man, dudes afraid to hit leg day in the gym, but they not afraid to harm themselves hopping on these crates, walking up these crates, hurting themselves walking up crates. But you afraid of leg day at the gym. I try to get you to squat some weight, and now you got a problem. So this is the type of world we live in. We coming together for this crate challenge, but then somebody say, man, we need to take control. We need to take control of the educational part or aspect of our lives. So we need to come together and build some schools, get some banks and things of that nature. Then everybody like, man, that's far-fetched, that's stupid, this, that, and the third. They got a problem. But these are the things that we need to do. These are the things that must be done, man. We have been miseducated severely. Y'all know me, man. When people pull up in this joint, man, I be looking. So excuse me if I'm looking, man. We done had the feds up in this parking lot, so I'm just watching. I'm doing the knowledge to everybody that pulls in this joint, man. I ain't got time to be playing. Man. But this school system has been frustrating me for the longest, and I feel like if we don't change that, then nothing really will change at all. We need to take that power back. Listen, it's too many important and brilliant black scholars, man, that have put out work in every field you can think of. Every field you can think of, I guarantee you it's a great black brilliant mind that is a master in that field, that got a book in that field, that can teach in that field. So there is no reason why when it comes to any particular subject, your child is not learning about it from a black person, whether it be history, whether it be health and medicine, whether it be psychology, whether it be philosophy, no matter what the subject is, I guarantee you it's a brilliant black mind that your child can learn from. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. And I was just doing the knowledge, man. I was just thinking about it, just even in my field. And like little books we had to study, I'm talking about textbooks when it comes to like training and fitness. I was like, man, how many black people then wrote like a thorough book on like health and fitness? Wasn't many of us. So those of us that are in these fields, man, we got to do a better job of putting out work, like respectable work, so we can use these books as textbooks to teach our children, so we can take back that power. Take back that power, man. We got too many great minds, man. We got too many great minds. We got too many great minds not for our children not to be learning from black people. Come on now. Come on now. Percy, appreciate the donation. You say, I know our story don't start with slavery, but how they gonna take it out entirely is a part of history. That thing can't be erased. And that exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be erased, and that's how I kind of feel about it. Teach about slavery, but the way they do it, you know, they fabricate it. They fabricate it. Teach about slavery, but teach the truth. Teach the truth. When you start talking about George Washington and all these early presidents, talk about how they owned slaves. Talk about how they owned slaves. Talk about how they was raping black women at that particular time because they was fascinated, and how they had a lot of mixed babies that they didn't want to claim. Talk about that. Teach that. That's the type of stuff that they don't do. They just talk about slavery and they make it seem like we was just inferior, and that's the reason why we were enslaved. So they fabricate slavery and they don't teach the whole truth, because if they teach the whole truth about slavery, then it'll make them look like the weak and wicked savages that they are. So they can't do that. So if you're not going to teach the whole truth, then it's almost best to just eliminate it and not teach it. And that's what they doing. That's the reason why they're not going. If they gonna do something, they'd just rather remove it instead of teach the entire truth. So that's why they're gonna omit it and not include it. So I can see it from that perspective, because if they teach the whole truth, then they gonna look all bad. The truth gonna come out about them, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They got too many black kids under this curriculum, and they got to continue to keep us enslaved psychologically. They got to continue to keep us enslaved psychologically. So they like, you know what? We'd just rather not teach it than teach the whole entire truth, because too many people are catching on to the fabricated part of it. So they just going to eliminate it. That's what's happening. It's too many black people now that done caught on to the fabricated part of slavery. Like, come on now. Like, it's 2021, man. It's too much knowledge out here that these kids know good and well what you talking about in slavery is fabricated. So they'd rather not teach it, because if you come in there and you teach your kid the truth about slavery, then they try and teach that kid about slavery. Kid is going to have questions. So they say, you know what? We just going to eliminate it. We just ain't going to teach it. We ain't going to teach it. That's going to prevent all that. So then if we don't talk about it, if we don't teach it, then that eliminates the possibility of them asking questions and challenging our authority, because they getting some of this truth out here. So that's why they would do that. That's why they would do something along those lines. So I understand why they doing it. But yeah, if you're going to teach it, teach the truth. Teach the entire truth. But we know they're not going to do that. Jason, peace, what's happening? Sneaky, peace, what's the word? So we know they're not going to teach the entire freaking truth. We know it. We know it, and that's why another thing, we got to stop depending on them to do that, because we know they're not going to do it. We know the nature of the beast. When you know the nature of the beast, you don't be surprised when they do beast-like things, because you know the nature of the beast. He's just acting in accordance to his true nature. So when you understand that, it's not surprising. Like I said, when I see that white cop shoot and kill black child, black man, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I'm not about to go hold up a sign and protest, because that is what's in his nature to do. It doesn't surprise me, because I've studied history. Go find me a time where we have coexisted with them peacefully. Please go find me. I've asked this question a million times. Somebody go find me a time where there have been people that resemble my pigmentation and Europeans in a land where they have coexisted peacefully. Please, someone go find me that time in history. Please go find me that time we have coexisted peacefully with them. They allowed us to do our own thing on this side of town while they did their own thing, and they didn't meddle in our business. Go find me a time where that happened. I have yet to be able to find one during all my reading. Every time that we have had encounters with them, it has resulted in bloodshed and things of that nature. Just pure wickedness and deception. That's what history has shown and proven to me. I've even had white folks that I talked to had to admit that that's true. So that's just an actual fact. That's just what it is. If someone can find me a time in history where we coexisted with them peacefully, then I'll be quiet. Until then, I feel like now it makes sense for us to get our children out of that type of system. If we were never able to coexist with these people peacefully, why do we think they're finna teach our children what's right and exact? Why? Why trust them with that? Why trust them with that heavy task to teach our children, and then get mad when our children turn up or turn out a certain type of way? Look who we are allowing to teach them. Please, somebody tell me when it comes to this system at large, when it comes to the system and the people that control everything, the little small percentage of people that control everything. Please tell me any time in history where they have had a black person's best interest at heart. Please, somebody tell me. Please, somebody tell me when the so-called powers that be, whatever you want to refer to them as, 1%, 10%, powers that be, elites, whatever you want to refer to them as. We know that these people are European people, white people. They are not letting black people in that type of circle. The only time they will allow a black person in that type of circle is for show, because they done had plenty of secret meetings, and they done had people like Oprah, and they done had people like Obama in there. But guess what? When they have Oprah and Obama and Michael Jordan and whatnot in these meetings, they not revealing the whole entire plan while these individuals are in the meeting. But they got to do it for show to make it look like they ain't on that racist nonsense that they really be on. So that's all for show. That's all deceptive. But you can go study a lot of the secret meetings and you're going to find certain black folks that been in on these meetings. But guess what? That's all for show. That's all for sure. That's all for show. All for show. They not truly letting these black people in on the secret. I don't care how powerful you think you are. I don't care if you Oprah. I don't care if you Obama. They not really telling you anything, man. They not revealing much to you. They not revealing much to you. It's when you leave. It's when Oprah, Obama, Michael Jordan, all these people leave. That's when they really start going in. That's when they really start revealing the plan. See, they don't want to tell people that though. They don't want to tell people that though. But somebody tell me, somebody inform me. When was the last time or any time in history where it has been an elitist group of white folks that care anything about black people, that care anything about teaching black children what's right and exact? And these are the people that control the educational system. These are the people that control all of what you see for the most part. Because how much do black people control here in America, a country that we built, that if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't even have this country. You wouldn't have this country if it wasn't for black folks. But how much of it do we own? And then let's go trace the owners of all these big corporations. Let's go trace the owners and see what they look like and see if they care anything about a black person. And then you got white people that want to say, they want to chime in and say, because I already know what they're going to say. They want to chime in and say, well, they don't care about their own people either. They don't care about poor white people either. They don't care about this, that, and the third either. Listen, if it comes down to if they have to make a choice, see, it's all about choices. If they have to make a choice, they are going to choose their own before they choose a black person. History proves that. We never said, like, listen, European is a savage. He don't have any problem with wiping out his own people. He don't have any problem with that. But if it came down to it, if they feel like they got to choose sides here, they're going to choose their people first. That's what's being said. They don't mind wiping you out either. They don't mind wiping you out. But if it came down to it, if it's between me and a white person, it is going to be me 100% of the time if they must make a choice. That is just a fact of life. So all the white people get all emotional when we start talking about this, when they just can't, again, you get emotional because the truth is hurting the guilty. If it comes down to it, which essentially is going to come down to it, they are going to choose you. Whether you want to be on that side or not, they're going to choose you because you look like them. That's just how it is. That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. And that's what we are talking about. That's what we are talking about when we say these things, man. Yeah, white dudes ain't never, they don't have any problem. You can go study all type of wars when you see white people killing each other. Matter of fact, when you study the Crusades, man, that's why I went to a Lutheran school, and you talk about the Crusades, that was our mascot, Crusader. You see these white folks killing each other. They Catholics and they Christians killing each other, and they believe in the exact same thing. Because they savages, man. They savages. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the original deadbeat, the original person that was beating on his woman and things like that, doing all that type of nonsense, man, it's a white dude, of course. Of course they don't mind violating their own people. They've been doing it. They've been doing it. It's savages. They savages. But if it boils down to it, they got to pick a side. When they start seeing darker pigmentation, they choosing their own people. They choosing their own people. And that's just what it is. If they got to create something that wipes out a certain portion of the population, they not going to choose something that wipes out people that look like them. They gonna choose something that's going to wipe out the darker population. Why would they choose something to wipe out the people that look like them when they could be affected by it and they children could be affected by it? Come on now. They want to design something that's going to tear down black people, darker people. That's the whole objective. But if some of their people must die in the process and must go in the process, then so be it. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. But they will create something aimed directly towards getting rid of black people, and they know and understand that some of their people won't have to go down the process. They are fine with that. They are fine with that. But the premise of whatever it was that they designed and created was to tear down black people. That's collateral damage. Like, they understand that it's going to be other groups that are going to go down the process because they're going to fool with the black folks. They're going to support them. They're going to try to rally with them and things of that nature. So it's going to be some people that look like us that go down. It's going to be some people like us that go down. They can't handle the jab. They can't handle the this, that, and the third. They can't eat these certain type of foods. So they're going to go down the process. But they cool with that though. But they're going to design it in a way that more of them come out on top than us. That's why I'm not so quick to put my trust in this system. I'm not going to put my trust in this system at all. Why should I? Why would I? And then for you people that want to hear everything that I got to say and then want to label things a conspiracy theory, listen. Not everything that you everything that you disagree with is not a conspiracy theory. Like, we got to clear that up. Just because you disagree with something, don't make it a conspiracy theory. Just because something may seem far-fetched to you doesn't make it a conspiracy theory. Just because you can't grasp it and understand it, don't make it a conspiracy theory. Just because you want to choose to remain deaf, dumb, and blind, don't make the other person a conspiracy theorist because they choose not to. Come on now. Just because you took the L, don't make the other person a conspiracy theory. And don't make them crazy. So we need to stop throwing that label around. Anytime it's some information that comes out that's presented that's different from the norm, we want to label that person a conspiracy theorist. Like, I'm starting to realize that people don't understand what that true word, that phrase or concept even means. But in the context in which it's being used, because it's normally used in a negative context, I would appreciate it if people stop using it. Because normally people only use that word when they disagree with something. It's almost like the word pagan. The only time people use the word pagan when somebody has a different belief than they do. So if you Christian and you Catholic, then now y'all pagans to each other because y'all believe in different things, or y'all have different religions. Like, come on, man. Come on, that's childish. That's childish. Just because somebody sees something differently than you doesn't mean they are a conspiracy theorist, according to you in the context in which you used it. So it's nothing negative about a person seeing the world differently. There's nothing negative about a person not trusting the system. There's nothing it's nothing negative about a black person saying, I don't trust this system. Because why should we? Somebody give me good reason why a black person should trust this system. Anybody. Anybody give me a good solid reason why a black person should fully trust this system blindly. I'm talking about as soon as they come out with something, we should blindly jump up, trust this system. Somebody give me a valid reason. Somebody. Somebody give me a valid reason. You know what I'm saying? People want to make us seem like we just crazy. We just striving to be different just because, as if something is wrong with that. Like, yeah, I'm striving to be different because I don't want to be like everybody else because everybody else is walking down a path of destruction. I ain't trying to go out like that, man. Unlike most people, I stand for something. Unlike most people, I literally stand for something as a black man in the wilderness of North America. I stand for something. I stand for something. And obviously, it's some truth to the things that we stand for because these social media platforms do a good job of trying to ban the content that we speak on. So obviously, we stand for something. Obviously, we not too dumb because these social media platforms go out of their way to make sure our content doesn't hit the surface when we talk about certain things. So obviously, we not too dumb. Obviously, we not too crazy. Because if we was crazy and if we was dumb, then these social media platforms wouldn't be going out of their way to try to get rid of some content. So obviously we own to something. Obviously we own to something. Obviously we own to something, man. Because why are they going so hard trying to get rid of certain content? Trying not to allow certain content to appear on the surface of the mainstream. Brandon, for sure. And listen, the Europeans no longer have to put the truth about themselves in plain sight. They no longer have to do it because we didn't have plenty of our ancestors that did it. Plenty of man, I was reading J.A. Rogers' book, man, 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. In that book, he tells you how the Ethiopians depicted white folks. See, they got it reversed. Like Pastor Troy did a song called Vice Versa. Man, that song is right and exact because that's how life actually is. That's how life actually is now. We believe in the reverse. So what we actually have been taught to believe is false. The opposite, for the most part, is true. Like they didn't depict it, like when you see a picture of the devil, what color is he? He's black. When you see a picture of Jesus, God, whatever the case may be, an angel, all that, he's white. That is the total opposite of the truth. The Ethiopians had it completely reversed. Their image of a devil was white. Their image of a God was black. J.A. Rogers talks about it in his book. That's how the Ethiopians got down. And it's a book called The Pale Fox that talk about the doggone tribe. And they tell you about white folks, the color white, being negative. But here in the wilderness, North America, we so brainwashed. We think when we were the color, when we were black, it's negative. It's a funeral. When we were white, that's for a good occasion. Total opposite. Little do we know the type of tricks that's trick knowledge is what Elijah Muhammad called. That's trick knowledge. Got you wearing black to that funeral, and you have associated black with mourning, with all type of negativity, whole while your ancestors did not view it in that light. It's the total opposite. White was the color they would wear to the funeral. And you still got certain cultures that actually adhere to what I'm saying. When it's funeral time, when it's something sad, they wear white. When it's a joyful occasion or joyous occasion, they wearing black. But we have been taught to believe the complete opposite of that. And that's crazy. People ask me all the time, why you wear so much black? Because black is peace. Black is peace. Black is a good color to me. I got a bunch of dark clothes. Man, when I worked at the last gym that I was at, man, she literally asked me, she was like, man, all you wear is black. You're like, all you wear is black. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you see, I got a white shirt on now, but if you look, man, I got a lot of black clothing to the point where I was like, damn, man, I ain't got nothing but black shirts, so I had to buy some other type of shirts. All I have is black. And they got y'all in fear of that. When y'all see a person that wears all black, y'all in fear. Y'all think something wrong with them. Y'all think something wrong with the person. You can't wear all black out here. What you say? That's those negative colors. That's gothic. They want y'all to believe that it's gothic. On that type of nonsense, man. No, black is the color of peace. Black is the color of peace. No matter what type of theory you want to subscribe to, we can go about the triple stage darkness and everything evolving out of that darkness. So no matter what theory you subscribe to in regards to a beginning, even if there was a beginning, everybody talks about before there was light, basically the darkness. That's peace. That's peace. That's peace. Blackness represents peace, man. Blackness represents peace. Come on now, stop playing with us, man. Blackness is peace, man. So I'm going to keep wearing black. I'm going to keep wearing black to the day that I die, because blackness is peace. Blackness is peace, man. In your most peaceful state, is pure blackness when you are asleep until you dream. But let me check some comments. Dominique, peace. What's happening, man? What's happening? Terenzo, my brother, peace. What's going on? What's the word? Z, pagan. Yeah, exactly. Anything that was non-Christian was pagan. And they was going to war. Ms. Donnie, you say the moms is okay. So she out here. See, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And the messed up part about it is that we have to homeschool. It shouldn't even come to that. But due to how corrupt this system is, we got to homeschool because we ain't got no school. We ain't got a large selection of schools to send them to. So we got to homeschool them if we want them to learn what's right and exact. And when people get in my feelings or get in their feelings when I talk about white supremacy and things of that nature. See, white kids ain't got to go through that. There are plenty of institutes, like the educational system is set up for white children. So they don't really have to worry about homeschooling their children. They could just they could just live off in the suburbs and send their kid to the nearest private school or public school because that school is for them. Black people, when we don't want to deal with the system, we got to homeschool the child. White kids, they got plenty of options because they in control of the educational system. We got to homeschool them. So we got to take them out of society, basically, because we don't want them to be corrupted. That's how it is. Being a black person with knowledge of self. That's the thing. Those are the type of things we got to do. It's messed up. It's messed up, man. We should have more schools. We should be able to say, oh, you know what? I don't want my child going to this school on this side of town. We're going to go to this black school. But we don't have any of those. Then we start talking about HBCUs, and for the most part, they be following white curriculums. So we need more schools that's literally by us, that's teaching what's right and exact. Teaching us what's right and exact. Come on now. Percy, appreciate that donation and for sure. You said when the internet were available to the common man, they hated it because they know the knowledge is out the bag. But one thing about it, Percy, I'm going to give you a jewel on that one, though. That's true, it's true, but at the same time, they was also laughing. Because while it was true, they knew what was going to happen. Because one thing they said, you want to hide the truth from a black man, put it in a book. So they was like, cool, we going to create this internet, right? And we going to give them all this access to information. They knew one or two things was going to happen. We going to get overwhelmed by all the different pieces of information that we can find on the web, which that happens. Or we would just continue to not do thorough research, which that also happens. So they knew that. They knew that. The web, in a sense, has made us a lot more mentally lazy. All you got to, you know how, listen, and I hate to talk about the degrees, but one of my degrees is in marketing, and that's something that I actually took serious. So I studied a lot of marketing outside of school. One thing you learn about marketing, it's still all about the money. So when you Google something, most of the people that you see on that first page of Google, they paid to be there. That don't mean their information is right, but they paid to be there though. So that first page on Google, man, a lot of them people paid, or a lot of them people did certain marketing techniques to get their information to appear on the first page of Google. It ain't got nothing to do with the authenticity of the information. But when we Google, we done been so brainwashed to think if it's on this first page, it must be accurate. It must be right and exact. It's a lot of things that's on that first page that's inaccurate. But see, we don't know that. We don't think that far ahead because we lazy intellectually. Like we not really doing thorough research. We'll look up something and whatever appear on that first page, that's it. And we roll with it. And they knew that. So that's a lot of times they're able to defeat a lot by just placing themselves in a position of where their knowledge is seen first. If they know if they on the first page of Google, they dominating the mind. They like, all right, cool. If we on the first page, when somebody look this up, they gonna see what we want them to see. But the truth might be 5 pages in. You might have to go to the 5th page on that Google search to actually get the truth, but you're not gonna do it. How many people gonna go search on that 5th page of Google to find something that they looked up? Not too many people. They're gonna look at the first page and they're gonna click on like the first 2 or 3 articles. That's it. You ain't going to that 5th page. That 5th page you ain't gonna make it to the 2nd page probably. You gonna look at page 1. How to lose weight. You finna look at page 1. They're probably about 20 pages. You finna look at page 1. And you finna take that information from page 1 and you finna either roll with that or get overwhelmed by it. Guarantee you. It happens all the time. People tell me that all the time. All the time. To Renzo, my brother, appreciate that donation. You say nowadays it's inappropriate for a child to sit on an adult's lap. Yeah, who gave us Santa? Exactly. Just right there is where we gonna hit the exactly. The exactly. But worships the Black Madonna. And once again, exactly. We ain't even gonna get started on the Black Madonna because behind closed doors, they definitely worshiping the Black Madonna, but then they want to say it's Mary. That's what they want to Mary. They give you the name Mary. Then it goes back to the Black Madonna, then it goes back to ISIS and things of that nature. Like we come on now. We finna get going. We finna get going. Like I said, behind closed doors, the Pope, a lot of these people that's in the Catholic religion, they worshiping black men, women, and children. Behind closed doors, they don't want nobody to know that. But behind closed doors, that Pope and all that, they worshiping black folks. They worshiping black folks. They taking the energy from black people. Oh, wow, they keeping us deaf, dumb, and blind to our reality. While they taking the power from us. They worshiping the black deities. They worshiping the black faces behind closed doors. Then they giving y'all the white face. You go into the black home and you see the white picture of Jesus, and then they finna tell you, oh, color doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It's a whole energy field behind it, man. Everything vibrates. So it's something to that white image of Christ that you seeing. What they say is Michelangelo's cousin, but it's something into that. Caesar Borgia, whoever you want to refer to him as. But it's something to that white image of Christ. So you think color doesn't matter when it comes to figures like that. It does, though. So when it comes to teaching our children what's right and exact, if they going to be worshiping anything and having anything in the crib, they got to be black. I ain't saying make Jesus black, because we ain't even got to deal with whether he existed or not. But let's put up pictures of Malcolm X, people that we know existed. Put pictures up of them. Assata Shakur, you got the daughter. Let her see Assata. Let her read the works of Sister Soldier and things of that nature. Come on now. We got plenty of people that came before us that actually existed that we should be having up on the walls. Instead, we want to put a white image of Christ and then say color doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, then why they make them white? Why they make them reflect their image? If it didn't matter, why you ain't just make them green? If color didn't matter, why didn't we just make Jesus green or something? But they want to tell you color doesn't matter though. Why not make it, listen, green, purple? If color didn't matter, why Jesus can't be purple? No, you made them white for a reason, because it matters. But they got you brainwashed, black man, and you want to say color doesn't matter. This white Christ doesn't matter. It doesn't impact me psychologically. Yes, it does, because you still view them as superior, subconsciously, and sometimes even consciously. But color doesn't matter to you. If it don't matter, how about I take that image of Christ you got in your house right now, paint it purple? You're going to have a problem with it. You're going to have a problem with it. Mr. Dan, we need all type of schools. We need a school for everything. I'm telling y'all, we got brilliant minds everywhere. We got scientists, we got doctors, we got everything, man. We got everything. We need a school for everything when it comes to this blackness, man. We got scholars, we got experts in every field. There is no reason why we shouldn't have our own every freaking thing. Everything. We have got brilliant minds in every field. We should have something open in regards. We should have gas stations. We should have banks. We should have everything. I got gyms, so we should have plenty of those. We should own all type of restaurants, because all we do is eat and cook. So we should own, oh man, come on. We should own auto shops, everything. Science labs, we should have all of that. We should have all of that. Literally. Oh, Percy, for sure. Man, don't even give me, listen, I already know. And they make it seem like homeschooling, they at a disadvantage. With all of these children that, listen, it's some people that then graduated from public school that I know personally. I didn't work with them. They didn't graduated from these public schools. They social skills still trash. They can't count. They can barely read. So tell me who is at a disadvantage. At least if I homeschool my child, they're going to be able to count and they're going to be able to read. They ain't finna go through 12 years of school and still can't read and still can't do basic math. Come on, man. How you go through a whole school system and cannot do basic math as a 30-year-old? How you go through a whole public school system and at 30 you still can't read? Come on now. And you want to try to ridicule somebody for homeschooling a child. If I homeschool a child, they're going to be able to read and do basic math. That's one thing for sure. That's one thing for certain. They're going to be able to do those things. I guarantee it. But I done seen people come from public schools and they not able to do basic math to this day. Basic math screws them up. Basic math. Can't do basic math without pulling out the phone. Can't do basic math without pulling out the phone. If I ask them what 9 plus 7 is, instead of them saying 16, they about to pull out the phone. This how, literally, I've seen stuff like this, man. I worked in banking. So trust me, I've seen people older than myself that cannot count that graduated from public high schools. That's sad. That is sad. That is disgusting. How you passing children along, how they make it to 12th grade and they can't do basic math. And people wonder why I say what I say about this system. I done heard plenty of teachers say, y'all can do what y'all want. I'm still getting paid at the end of the day. That's what it then boiled down to. And they getting underpaid at that. So when you underpay them, their attitude is going to be garbage towards it for the most part. You got to be really passionate about it. Man. Because you're getting underpaid to do a job, to deal with kids, to deal with people's kids. So for the most part, a lot of people are like, you know what? I'm just collecting this paycheck now. Y'all ain't paying me enough to deal with this nonsense. Come on now. Ray, for sure. No problem. Terenzo, most definitely the green man. Whatever color you could choose, the color didn't matter. Just make them any color that we can think of. Turquoise, I don't even care. Any color if it didn't matter, but it matters though. That's why they put a specific color on them. That's why they do that. That's why they have done that. Mr. Dan, for sure, 100%. This school system is teaching our children to be consumers, slaves, all of that. All of that, man. All of that. Consumers, slaves. All of that, man. So that they can continue to make money off of us, and so we can continue to build their empires. That's it. That's literally all they teaching us, or teaching our children to do and be. That's it. They're not going to teach us to be independent and self-sufficient. Man, I'm telling you, man, I was in college with a white chick. She was like, she literally was just there for the college experience. She was like, because once I leave, like, I'm going to take over my father's business. I'm going to work for my father. So I don't even need this schooling. I don't even need it. She didn't even need it. She was there just because. She was just there just because. She good. She's set. She like, man, you know what? My father has this business. I'm going to take over his business. I'm going to work for him. I'm going to be cool. I don't even need this school. I'm just here just because. I'm just here to party. That's literally what she was there for. And that was a lot of them white kids. They were just there to party. They were just there for the fun. Because they know at the end of the day, no matter what happens at this college, they going to be good. They going to take over the family business. They going to work within the family business and make 6 figures or whatever it is. They good. They ain't got to worry about nothing. They ain't got to worry about nothing. They ain't got to worry about anything. Our children are the ones that have to worry about anything. That's why I tell we need to have more businesses so that our kids could be worry free. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? If you want to go to school, cool, man. But if not, man, I got this job for you, man. You good. I'm going to pay you $70K a year. You going to be good. So, but if you want to go to school, you want to do you, just do you. But at the end of the day, man, I got something for you. I got something for you. No, instead, in the black community, we want to make fun of a child that their parents is looking out for them like that. Oh, you privileged and this, that, and the third. We want to talk bad about that person. Forget all that. We need to do more of that. You want to kick the child out at 18. Oh, you 18, you grown, get out of my house. Ain't got no concept of reality, yet you want to kick them out, then get mad at them for making bad decisions. You done kicked them out and they had no concept of reality because the school system ain't taught them nothing, and you wasn't there to teach them because you working 15 jobs because that's how the system got you. Because we not valuing ownership and being self-sufficient. So while you wasn't there to raise the child or teach the child what's right and exact because you had to work 15 jobs to keep the lights on because we not valuing ownership and being self-sufficient, you done let the school system turn your child into a slave. Now they don't have no concept of reality. Then at 18, you want to kick them out, and then you wonder why they don't know how to do nothing. You wonder why they don't know how to do anything. Because you didn't allow the system to take control of your child, not teaching them nothing. They're not teaching them anything. You know how many children I done had coming to the bank trying to open up accounts that don't know how to do simple things like write a check, fill out a withdrawal slip, don't know anything about how money works, and they done went through a whole school system. Why don't you know that? Oh, well, it's the parents' job. I get it. It starts at home. But the way the system is set up now, since we don't value ownership, a lot of parents spend most of their time working because they have to be able to provide for the child. Because we don't want to value ownership. We don't want to value self-sufficiency. So then when you don't value that, now you're a slave to the system. So you may not be able to be there as much as you need to be to teach your child what's right and exact because you got to work 2 or 3 jobs. And your kids got to take care of themselves. They got to raise themselves. And I can't fault a parent for that, but that's what it is. So a lot of times people want to point the finger at the parents. Well, we can't expect for this system to teach our. It starts at home. I hear y'all, man. I hear y'all. But man, listen, my pops worked some crazy shifts. He wasn't able to be there as much because of the work that he had to put in to provide for us. Ain't his fault. He had to do that. He did. If he didn't do it, we would have been out here homeless. So what we got to do, we got to take back time is what we need control of. In order for us to get time, we got to be self-sufficient. There is no way we can continue to slave for this system and have time to teach our kids what's right and exact. Because if y'all ain't noticed, the world around us is getting way more expensive and they are paying way less. So the times of getting one solid job and that job is being able to take care of a whole entire household, that's long gone. That's long gone. Nowadays, you have, if you in a household where there's a mother and a father, and they both have jobs, sometimes that's still not enough. Sometimes that's still not enough, depending on the amount of children that they may have. That's not enough. So both of them may have 2 jobs and whatnot, because the world around us is getting a lot more expensive if you have not noticed. And that's going to continue to get worse. And they ain't paying nothing on these jobs. So when you get a so-called decent job, they still ain't paying you nothing. They still ain't paying you nothing. So we got to value self-sufficiency in order to free up time so we can teach our children so they don't have to travel down this path. Because this path is not cool. You know how many people, you know how many depressed people I see going on interviews for these jobs and just not being happy because these jobs are underpaying them and want them to do, they paying them $20 an hour but want them to do $50 an hour work. They paying them $15 an hour and want them to do $100 hour work. Come on, man. That ain't nobody finna put up with that, man. That's why I talk about valuing ownership, being self-sufficient, because we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. We in a world today where $1 million ain't really nothing. And none of us are millionaires. But in the grand scheme of things, $1 million is nothing. $1 million is nothing. $1 million is nothing. And we ain't millionaires. So we got to start valuing self-sufficiency, just an ownership, period. So we can free up our time. So we can free up our time, man, because things around us are becoming more expensive. And these companies want you to slave for nothing. They want you to slave for $14 an hour, for $15 an hour, and then expect for you to earn a living. And then when you ask, when you say they should increase your wages, then they want to look at you crazy. You should be happy that you have a job. You should be thankful that you have a job. Nah, you're not going to use that guilt trip on me. I know my worth. I know my worth. When you know your worth, that type of stuff don't work with you. You should be thankful that you have a job. No, sir, I'm not going to accept something less than what I'm worth. And you want me to do all this work. Not happening. Not happening, Captain. I'm going to make something happen on my own. Forget all of that. Forget all of that, man. That's done. That's dead. Forget that fake positive attitude. I'm grateful to have a job. No. If that job is not satisfying you, figure out your exit plan. If that job ain't paying you enough, forget all that. I'm thankful to have a job. No. You deserve better. Create an exit plan. Get up out of that. Because when you accept that reality, guess what? You're going to become content. Next thing you know, you done spent 5 years at this job that's underpaying you and got you working like a slave. When whole while, if you just changed your mindset, you would have evolved and got something way greater than that. But no, they want to guilt trip you and say you should be thankful that you have a job, and that forces you to accept those wicked conditions. Nah, man, you way more valuable than that. You deserve way more than that. You know the work that you putting in. You know the value. You know your value. You know your value. Don't let nobody tell you to accept this $15 an hour when you know good and well the work that you putting in is worth way more than that. Go get what you worth. And the only time you really gonna get what you worth is if you create the opportunity for yourself. Logic, peace, what's happening? Excuse me, y'all. Like I said, this topic is one of those topics. I ain't got riled up. You know what I'm saying? The passion that came out. So if I ain't tapping into the comments like I normally would do, y'all must excuse me. Because I'm tapped in, gotta vent, gotta get this type of stuff off my chest. Because like I said, I'm tired of this freaking system, man. I'm tired of black people not having enough black establishments when it comes to a lot of these things to support. I should be able to pull up to a black gas station anywhere. Anywhere I go, I should be able to pull up to a black-owned gas station. I should be able to go to a black-owned restaurant if I want to indulge in some food. And that should be right around the corner. It should be on every corner. I should be able to go to a black-owned retail store, all this shopping we do. I should be able to buy some shoes from a black-owned business right around the corner. Like, I should be able to do that. Where black people at, I should be able to do these things. Percy, appreciate that donation. Appreciate it. Y'all know I keep the head on a swivel. Once again, man, here we go. Somebody slow creeping in here. Y'all know we keep the head on a complete swivel. We not going out like that. Oh yeah, Percy, we walks away from that. We don't deal with that. We don't deal with that. But y'all, man, I seen who was slow creeping in here, man. I was just getting started, man. But I'm gonna have to cut this live short, man. Got that, like, it's frustrating. I gotta cut this short. I still got more to say. Still got more to say. I'm gonna probably have to finish this up tomorrow though, man, because I got a few things after this, man. But I appreciate y'all for the little time I had to build. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Thursday, man. I'm gonna tap in with y'all tomorrow, and we gonna have part 2 of this, man. 'Cause I still got more to say. I got more to get off my chest. So I appreciate donations, all the comments, questions, concerns, all that good stuff, man. If you missed the entire thing, go back, play it back, because there was some information that was dropped. I'm sure of it, because I done blacked out. I forgot even what I said for the most part. I might have to go back and watch it. But y'all enjoy the rest of this Thursday. I'm out, y'all. Peace.